Hello, my beautiful creatives, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chrissie B, and I'm a creativity coach, hoping to inspire you to live a more creative life every day. Well, somebody has gone to Barnes & Noble and has picked up her quarterly magazine stash. Now, I end up getting a little bit more than I normally do, but I wanted to share with you what magazines I love to pick up for art journaling and for like having fodder, creative fodder for my stash. So let me move this to the side. And I will start with probably my favorite. That is the Flow magazine. I did a flip for you last month. This is actually the Flow big catalog, the big Mama Jamba book, the big book. And this book has so much goodness and yumminess and stickers and tabs and labels and postcards and pop-outs and all sorts of different things. I'll probably do a flip with you on this particular Flow later, but I wanted to show you, I just love it so blinking much. But you'll get more details on this soon. Now, another book that I stumbled upon, this was actually in the book section. Everything else I picked up was actually in the magazine section, but I picked up this book, 50 Ways to Draw Your Beautiful Ordinary Life, Practical Lessons in Pencil and Paper. Now, this is also from the illustrators of Flow magazine. So when I saw that, I was like, oh. So this, I will probably do a flip of this one as well. This one is in the same kind of format as Flow, so it's got a lot of juiciness and a lot of great illustrations and a lot of stuff, you know, paper dolls and postcards and all sorts of scrumdiddlyumptiousness, including drawing tips, techniques, and things that you can do, exercises. I am sure I haven't looked through all of it yet, but I'll probably do a flip at this one as well. But this one made me super happy. Now, between this one and this one, they were a little bit spendy. I will not lie to you, they were rather expensive. And so these are definitely splurges for my year, but I will find so much fodder out of this for adding to my stash and playing on and learning and being motivated by and inspired by. That I felt it was worth it. Plus, I have a Barnes & Noble membership, which gives you 10% off of all your purchases. Now, it's not a lot, but it makes me feel like I'm getting a little bit of a deal. So those are my first two out of my haul. Another one that I got was cloth, paper, scissors. I don't get this all the time. I do get it sometimes. But this time there was a lot about art journaling in it, which I absolutely love. And they had this really awesome article. I know this style. Every time I see this style, I know who this is. This is Rae Missigman. And I love her. She is one of my absolute favorite artists. She was one of the first art journalers I ever started watching. And you might be able to tell that. Some of my style is hers a little bit. And I just love Rae's style. I love that it's free and it's messy and it's just so ingenious. I just love it. And so I love, I had to pick it up because I wanted to be able to see it. But then as I was flipping through it, there was so much more in here. You know, there's all different kinds of colors and collage and bookbinding and all sorts of stuff. So one of my favorite things I like to do with these types of magazines is I like to find something that I think, oh, that's rad. Like, here's all these papers that look like they might have been jelly printed on. And I say to myself, okay, I'm going to use that to inspire my art journal today. How can I incorporate whatever this is inspiring in me to translate that into my today's art journal? Maybe I'll pull out my jelly plate, or maybe I'll do some hand-decorated papers, or maybe it's the colors that resonate with me, or the shapes that resonate with me. And I will somehow use this little image out of this entire magazine as a way to inspire my art journal spread for today. That's how I use that. So there's so much juicy goodness in here, and there's so many of those types of things I think, ooh, that would be so cool, like making your own jewelry. Oh, I love that. And it looks like it's a jewelry that's made out of, made from a stamp. Like stamp was her motivation. I love this face. I love the quilting. Oh, there's just so many things in here that I absolutely adore. But it really was this Rae Missigman article that I had to read. I love her. She just makes me so blinking happy, and she makes me feel like, even though I make a mess on my art journal page, if I make a mess and love it, then it's a mess on purpose, and then it's all good. I also love these little birds. How cute are those? Anyways, I love these. I just think they're so much fun, and I love all the different ideas and techniques and introduction to new people that I've never heard of before. So that is one of my magazine stash. I had to get this one. I had to. Artful Blogging. Now, Artful Blogging comes out once a quarter, and I get it every single quarter. It's one of my favorites. I used to be a really big blogger. I used to do blogging a lot. I don't blog as much as I don't blog hardly ever anymore, in all honesty. And that is because doing art videos, YouTube videos, they're very time consuming and they take a lot of energy. And I find that I just don't know how these people, I don't know how people maintain a YouTube channel and a Patreon channel and their blog. It's just amazing. They have to have like people that help them. And I'm not there yet. I will be. And I love writing. Writing is just such a natural way of communication for me that I still collect these just so I can soak up every single image, every single inspiring story, and to learn about new people and just to get inspired in different colors that are popular. Or sometimes if I accidentally buy more than one of these, which sometimes happens, not often because they're kind of spendy, but sometimes it'll happen, I will then use this either as the foundation for an altered book and do an altered journal out of one of these, or I will use it as my photo fodder. So I will cut images out and words out because there's a lot of inspiring and motivational and happy thoughts. So like this, I found that the more I wrote about my trials and tribulations, the less power those dark thoughts and experiences had. Consequently, I began to feel better. That all by its little lonesome is so true for me. And I find that these people are my people. I feel like I can relate to these people. So Artful Blogging was definitely one that I had to get. And I did buy my quarterly magazines already. I just couldn't find this one. And for whatever reason, I just couldn't get my hands on it. So I found it. Another one of those quarterly purchases that I always get every quarter. Not every quarter, but this Artful Blogging I get every single quarter. Art journaling I get only when I feel like I'm maybe hitting a creative slump and I'm needing some inspiration. So art journaling was one I picked up this time just because there was a lot of really great art journal pages and a lot of cool things that I thought I could like take inspiration from. I try really hard not to copy anybody, any one thing, any one person's style, but I do. Again, like I said, I will, you know, if something resonates with me on this face, and you know what, I bet you, who is this? Pam Carricker, of course it is. I knew this style. So this is Pam Carricker, but if I look at this face and it really resonates with me, I might go off and like try to emulate it somehow, or maybe I will draw something else with this kind of like ethereal, ghostly kind of image to it. I just try to use it to inspire me. Same with like different collaging techniques. I love the way this person does all the different doodling on their page. Doodling is something I used to do a lot more of. Of course, it's Lori Marie Jenkins. She is the lady that I've just recently discovered on YouTube, and I have been devouring her because she is divine. I love her, and I should have known that because I've seen some of this. Like I've seen this before. She's got a tutorial on how she does that screen window. Love it. Love it. She's from Vallejo, California. She's awesome. But if I feel like I need inspiration or I want to hold some of these images in my hot little fingers because I'm hypersensitive and I do better if I'm being very sensual about my work, if I'm touching it, if I'm feeling it, if I'm seeing it, if I'm smelling it, if I'm tasting it, maybe not quite tasting it, but you know what I'm saying? If I can actually be one with whatever it is that I'm working on, I feel like I'm able to do it better. So this is definitely one of those magazines that I will keep forever and ever and ever as a resource for finding new techniques or being introduced to new people or finding, you know, things to just inspire me till that maybe somehow incorporate something about this into my artwork. So yeah, that's another one that is definitely on my must have. I also got one last one. Now, I got this one. I don't know what this is called. L'Officiel, maybe? This was only $4. And it's not a magazine I've never seen this magazine before, and it's not the type of magazine I usually get. But I really want to have some more imagery of faces. I want to learn how to draw faces. I want to get better at doing faces. And one of the ways that I've seen people do is they will take an image like this and gel medium it down into their art journal, and then they will actually paint over the top of this person and like recreate them in their own style with their own paint. And they kind of use this person as kind of a reference. I think that for me, that's going to be a really great way to learn how to do it until I can come up with my images on my own without having to like essentially trace anything. Now, for those of you who think tracing is not a legitimate method, it totally is a legitimate method. It's a great way to learn how to do something. If you remember when you were in kindergarten, if you're learning how to write your name, a lot of times, at least in my world, a lot of times my mom would write my name and I would trace my name over and over and over. And what eventually happens is your hand remembers how to make the motion. You remember how to make the motion, and before you know it, you're writing your name by yourself. I think that's the same way with tracing in artwork. So I picked this up because the first few pages are just like a regular magazine. They're kind of like the shiny, not waxy, but they kind of have I don't know, a slickness to them. And so I really liked the images, but I wasn't really loving the paper because I have a feeling that putting this type of paper in my art journal to actually work over the top of is going to give me a little bit of trouble. I'll probably try some clear gesso and see if that'll work, but I didn't want really this kind of paper. This is not the kind of paper I was looking for. Otherwise I would have picked up a Vogue or a Glamour or a Bazaar or something. But what really caught my eye was about this far into the book, like just a pinch of regular magazine, and all of the rest of the paper is more like, it's rougher. It's more like recycled paper, and there's not really a film or a slickness to it. That is what floated my boat. That is what made me think, yes, this needs to be added to your stash, because I have a feeling that this will be a lot easier to work with in my journals. So there were just lots of fashion photographs, but there were a lot of pictures of real people too. And I think that they'll be fun to kind of like recreate. And here's even paintings that might be fun to, maybe if I'm having a day where I don't have a lot of time, maybe I'll just incorporate one of those in my art journal somehow. Or, I don't know. That's kind of my thinking when I picked up this magazine. And there's so many images in it, and it's so large, and it was only $4. So to me, that felt like a great purchase. So yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff in here. A lot of, basically this book will be used for all the imagery. I'm not sure there's going to be a lot of like positive words. I don't generally find fashion magazines, although I love that. Ooh, love that. I don't find that fashion magazines generally have a lot of positivity in them. They're more about buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, or somehow I walk away feeling like I'm inadequate. But that is not what this is about. This is about finding like creative, artistic fodder, essentially. What could be something that I can incorporate into my art journal. So yeah, I won't lie to you, I had a lot of fun at my Barnes & Noble, and I'm sure they love seeing me come because I always leave with lots and lots and lots of magazines. Magazines is kind of my thing, especially in my art life, because they're so easy to get your hands on, and there's so much awesome creative fodder in all of the goodness. So I hope that is something that was fun for you to at least watch, to maybe get some ideas on, you know, ways that you can use some of your own books and art journals and or your own books and magazines to, you know, inspire your art journaling work or your mixed media work. And until next time, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. I always appreciate you, and I am still in awe that you want to come hang out with little old me. So until next time, I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.